Hello everyone, welcome back to another match of the Ori and the Blind Forest All Skills Tournament. I'm Poogle, I hope you're not sick of me yet, and I am joined by Elo Jiminy. How are you doing?
Yo, Poogle. I'm doing pretty good. We got quite an interesting race today. There's going to be a slight difference to our normal setup, so Poogle, you want to hook up an explanation of what's actually going on here?
So, what's happening with this race is that due to scheduling conflicts, SonikBuster and Hedidiit were not actually able to race against each other live. So what each of them did is they pre-recorded a single no-reset race, match so to speak, so that, yes, these are both pre-recorded, but neither I nor Elo Jiminy knows what the result is, and it's going to be as if both racers simply were racing against each other, but were not watching each other's feeds.
Yeah, so just to be clear, it will just be like it's live. Nothing will be different apart from how it was scheduled. So forget about that. We can just enjoy the race. So we'll take a look at our two runners. Both of them are super close in seeding. They're literally one away from each other. So we're going to have a pretty close match here. You can see the current time is like 10 seconds. I know it's 13 seconds, but I'm really bad at math. Both are playing mostly on controller, but with Sonic, we are seeing a little bit of difference. Should be playing hybrid, so now and then you may see a cursor pop up on the screen when they're bashing or certain things that the KBM has a little bit of advantage on there. The average race times, as you can see, there's only about 2 minutes between them, so throughout the tournament they have been quite close. Same again with the best race times. I am really looking forward to this setup. How about you, Pooh?
I'm super excited, considering that the seeds are super close. They're only one away, there's 13 seconds between their PBs. This is going to be a pretty nice race. Now, as I said, neither Elo Jiminy nor I actually know what's going to happen, regardless that these racers did have to record each of it. So this is just going to be exactly like a normal race, and it's going to be really good.
Yeah, looking at this graph, we got some weird shapes going on here, but it looks like they're pretty even, although that Hedidiit is looking like he's not doing as many tricks. He seems to be a lot more consistent at what he does, so he might lose a little bit of time due to these tricks, but what he does, he knows very well, so he may just save the time difference that some of these tricks make up in the fact that he can do what he does really, really well.
It's going to be pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it is. I can't wait for this race to begin. Some interesting facts about both of these runners as well. We've not went over the miscellaneous facts, and I've missed them because they just went off screen. But we did get to see the amazing Kuro animation, which is always a pleasure.
I guess you can call them miscellaneous facts, eh?
Oh, we have the puns here. We do. So good. Surprising. I would like to see how many puns per stream we actually get off, because some of the streamers are pretty frivolous with their pun making.
Ah, well, it would appear that we have indeed started. The runners are going to run and jump their way over through to sign. Now, jumping is slightly faster than the simple running through things, so it's why there's going to be a lot of bunny hopping all the way over until we start getting a bit more movement tech in here.
Yeah, and it gives you something to do. The other game is pretty boring as far as it goes, because we're a Metroidvania, so just pressing buttons is always nice to do, as we see both of our runners pick up sign. Unfortunately, we haven't seen any colour changes yet, which some runners choose to do, but I kind of respect the decision. I don't myself change Ori's colour. It should be white at all times.
I mean, it does depend. Well, it does depend on certain things, considering that sometimes you get a really nice color, and sometimes you just match the background, and it's awful.
Yeah, so we see a little slight difference at the start. He did got a slightly better Frankie fight there. His shot pacing was on point. Both of these guys will be using a shot pacing method, I believe, as they're both using controller, so they can't cheat with the scroll wheel. And it's going to give slight advantages to whoever can shot pace that well, and we see Hedidiit just take a minor victory at the start with that.
Both runners taking damage from that really obnoxious slime there.
Yeah,
so
a little bit difficult to get over. There's a bunch of slimes which most runners know how to get over. There's just basically a jump pattern that most of you know, and some of them, like that one, can just be a little bit aggressive on you, and it's quite hard to miss all of their shots. But fortunately, we are looking to drain our health down to 1. For this very trick, we're going to see it on Hedidiit's side. It's a ghost door. He just saves, put the keys in, kills himself, and the door magically opens and saves a very small amount of time.
Now, Sonic also going for the door, getting it, having to spend a little extra time because she had 2 HP going into that door. And she's going to jump up to get the first optional health cell that you can get in the run, bringing her total up to 4, as well as he did it previously getting it. And it's a good thing for him, because he's taking, a lot of damage and a death in the elbow. That elbow is really obnoxious trying to get through.
Yeah, as we were describing earlier on, these slimes can be a little bit aggressive, and when there's 2 in a very small space, it's quite hard to miss all of their shots. So he did it, unfortunately, taking a death there. Not losing a lot of time, but it does put him slightly behind. Hopefully he'll be able to catch up through some clean movement in the elbow this time. He seems to have managed that pretty well, taking a little bit of damage, but he's got better this time.
Considering that grabbing the health cell does bring you back up to full, instead of having to go through that section with 1 HP, he gets to go through with the full 4, so even taking a couple damage isn't the worst thing.
Yeah, we're getting a level up here, as you see on SonikBuster's stream, which is perfectly timed, kills all of the brambles, and I believe actually, I'm not sure if most people choose to do it on the way up or down, but it doesn't really matter that much. The experience is a little bit forgiving, so missing it or getting it doesn't really matter. And we see he did get it on the way down as well, so no discrepancies between the runners as of yet.
And we see that Sonic has gotten to wall jump. Hedidiit will be grabbing the tree shortly. Both runners are going to grab that second energy on the left, because we get a total of 5 in this run. Though Sonic, for a time, if I'm remembering correctly, actually only took 4. She did opt to skip the slime energy for a long time. Not slime energy, the spider energy. My bad.
Yeah, there is a spider next to that, I'll let you off. And it's a very spider-orientated section, so yeah. A little bit of history on that 5th health cell. Energy cell. We didn't used to take it, and then there's a little bit of experimentation with it to see if it was faster. People used it for safety strats, and now people use it for speed, so we'll see them pick up 5, hopefully, now. Sonic taking a little bit more time backwards through the elbow. She didn't kill some of the, I was going to say slimes. Kill some of the brambles on the floor, so just taking a little bit more time there, killing those so she didn't take any damage, and made it through cleanly, and he did it making up a little bit of time so he didn't have to do any of that.
Well, I mean, but what are those even really called anyway?
It has been argued, heated arguments debated furiously in the Ori Discord, whether they're called slimes, slimes? Why do I keep on saying slimes?
It's alright, I did too.
Yeah, spores. People hate that word. I don't know why. Ooh. Hedidiit is taking a little bit more damage coming to BRB. BRB can be pretty dangerous, so taking any unnecessary health loss is pretty spooky, but he just checked it there. He showed 3 health, so it should be pretty good through the BRB section.
Alright, so it looks like both runners are going to take Magnet here to set up their EXP properly for the later trick. Now, a lot of times people take Magnet if they're a little lower on experience, and Rekindle if they're a little higher on experience. And yeah, it seems that both of these actually sane people are not going to do the magnetless strats and take Magnet for later. Because while Quick Flame is rather nice on controller sometimes, not the sanest thing to do.
Sane? Are you calling me insane here, Google? I take offense to this.
Well,
I am a Quick Flame entrepreneur.
I mean, I would also be calling myself rather insane in that fact, so no worries.
I've been called worse in my times. Well, here we see them getting... It's quite a difficult set of jumps to get this 100 experience, and spiders are shooting you, but he did make it on the second try. Gaining a little time on Sonic is actually taking the lead, so the deaths that he had in the early game, he's bringing them back with some very clean movement at the moment.
It's taking a bit of damage going through these spikes, and there's the death to the shot.
Yeah, he saved just before the awkward jump as well, so he's losing a bit more time than he could be. I don't know if he took Rekindle or not, but if he did, he could have resaved after he got this XP.
No, he didn't take Magnet as well as Sonic.
God darn.
So Sonic doing the save and quit there to manipulate the platform cycles.
Yeah. Ooh, can you see the experience on Sonic's screen? She's gonna have to do some crazy slimes, dodging XP, or not even killing the slime and it's shooting her through the platforms. Is it gonna miss? Oh, perfectly dodged. Perfect. Can be very tricky to dodge that slime shot. Some people choose to kill it and have the XP drop, but if you have taken Magnet, which some people do, the crazy people take Magnet, right? And unfortunately, you could level up at that point, but Sonic did very well to get out of that situation. Unfortunately, he has to wait for the second room with the platforms, but it's a minor time loss to what could have been a catastrophic level up.
Yeah, this experience needs to be really properly meted out in order to do the next major trick of this run, which is why Magnet is super useful, because Frankie Walk is very unforgiving.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's made a little bit more forgiving when you take Magna, but it's still a very scary experience. He did actually hit the cycle that he was trying to get, so he has made up a little bit of time, reducing the time that he lost from that unfortunate death in BRB, so he did his plan pretty solidly, taking a few minor deaths, but overall, his movement is very good through these sections. Are we seeing a stack? No. No stack from SonikBuster, which is kind of a new thing, so it's not very shocking to see these type of players not take those risks. It involves a little bit more blind movement, and it only saves very minor times. So you see Sonic picking up Dash, and also he did it on the right, is picking up it as well. They'll be making their way to the treacherous Frankie Walk, as was mentioned by you, Google.
Yeah, so at least it's not the really silly Frankie Walk that used to be done.
No!
Where... Oh, no,
Sorry
wait! Oh,
no! He took a bad dash glide over there, tried to just make it to the platforms, but unfortunately missed that back up as well. So he just reloaded his file, and now he's on his way to the Frankie Walk. Ooh, what happened to Sonic? Oh, what? I missed what happened on Sonic's screen, but she had... no, she's on her way, Frankie Walk. Did you see what happened?
I'm not certain. No, I looked over to see Hedidiit taking the death, and I'm not sure what occurred. Well, whatever did happen, Sonic is taking Billy to go end on a lovely walk.
Yes, and I scroll down to a door, which unfortunately both of these players have to kill this poor, beautiful Frankie called Billy to open said door to get his experience for this level up that we were talking about earlier, and they're pretty tied at the moment. It's nice to see them this early on so tied. Ooh, a little bit of trouble with the Frankie on the left side.
Sonic getting the extra energy.
Yeah.
So there's a 10% energy chance that energy is going to drop.
Hopefully we won't need it. Ooh, whoa, that Frankie was so close. I would have panicked so badly there.
Sonic does that on purpose.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I've never seen that
before. Instead of dashing underneath the Frankie there, she'll actually stop there on purpose, shoot him a bit, and then just go under him.
Holy jeez, there's quite a few techniques there, but that one I've never seen. Nice to see out of these kind of newer runners, so you see different techniques. And on the right side we see he did it coming towards a crush cycle. Unfortunately he didn't go for the early cycle, but his movement's pretty good. He'll just be going for it. I think Sonic was actually going for the early cycle there. Unfortunately he screws up a little bit of the movement there, so misses it. So no time makeup for Sonic there. This is a pretty close race at the start. There's been like a few errors from both of them, but it's kind of evened itself out, so we're seeing very nice movement from both of them at the moment. Should be a good race.
Hedidiit now coming over to the double jump tree. Let's see if he goes for the blind movement. And he is going to go for the blind movement.
Yeah,
alright.
Oh dear, these Frunkies are trying to kill Sonic so good. Ooh, that Frunky just comes for a jump, says hello to Ori, and then runs back away because Ori is way too scary. And we're also going to see the blind movement from Sonic coming out here. A little bit of mistakes from Hedidiit on the right-hand side. It's quite difficult to know where you are on that unless you've done it a million times, so getting that point still pretty good, but you can climb the wall. Let's see if Sonic does it. Yeah, they got to about the same point in the blind movement, so no time lost for either. They're still keeping pretty much head-to-head in this.
Yeah, Hedidiit only a little behind. See if he can get the grotto skip first try. Because that'll definitely... And he does! Alright!
That'll increase his average. As you see there, it's 42.9, so that'll definitely be going up. Let's see if Sonic can get it first try as well. Oop, flips it on the first try. This is super difficult.
Oh, doesn't get a second. No!
So close. Come on, Sonic, you could do this. Third try. Oh no, she got the jump perfectly, but unfortunately, there are times where you think you haven't made it, so you kind of question your movement on the second jump, and it looks like that's what happened there, but managed to get it there, and is on the way to catch up to Hedidiit. Ooh, he almost watched the little Gumo cutscene there, but he managed to pull back, do the save skip, and he's on his way.
Sonic actually missing the first rekindle.
Oh no.
Because if anything, if you have to take one of the two to watch, the upper one is not the worst one to watch. The bottom one, however, you miss that, you've got a bunch of rocks coming down on your head.
Yeah, unless you've played a lot of like the vanilla kind of game, which Sonic actually has, as you might be familiar with the movement, it's so hard not to take damage to those falling rocks.
Something I actually learned recently is that you can bash off those rocks.
Oh yeah,
so
if you play randomizers.
Randomizer and all that, you can actually completely bash off those, and that's not something I ever knew before.
Yeah, I think it's actually quicker if you spawn the rocks if you have bash at that point, and then you can just fly up that section. But unfortunately, we are on our way to get bash, so we don't have it quite yet.
Yeah, we are heading up there. Sonic not getting hit by that falling sign, which is always good.
Yeah, it can be a little bit mischievous there if you get the jumping patterns a bit wrong. But on the right side, we're seeing Hedidiit just pick up an ability cell. This is in regards of a trick that we will be going to later called a Terror Break. And most of the runners, I believe Sonic will be doing the same as well. Looks like she's actually getting some extra experience there, so we may be seeing an early C-dash route. I don't know if you're familiar with which route Sonic takes, but it looks like that's what's going to happen.
I don't actually remember.
Yeah, I don't see many people take that and not go the route, so we will only see in time, I imagine. Hedidiit made a good spinning spike cycle there, skipping a cutscene to ignore Gumo opening the door, and makes his way to the Ginso tree. What are your feelings on the Ginso tree, Pro? I know it can be very terrifying for some people.
It's a trip.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those.
Now,
you have to be very good at double jumps.
Honestly, for me, it's not the Ginso tree itself that's the hardest part, is the getting into it immediately prior. Like, example, those spinners, which are extremely dangerous to deal with.
Yeah, they took 2 damage per hit, so it looked like Sonic was a little bit low from something else there. She's on 1 health at the moment, so you have to be very careful going through. That's probably why she's been low. Because
since she gets the 200 experience, she levels up right there and doesn't level up at the Iceless experience. Because of that, the slime and the frog don't die. Nor does she get the health refill. That's a little scary.
Yes, so hopefully she takes it a little bit slower through this cycle here, avoids some of the spikes. Ooh, choosing a play out, which is quite dangerous if you miss the first cycle here, but she takes the time. Looks like gonna get the second cycle and hopefully makes it on her way out.
Oh, she's not gonna save the teleporter. She's just gonna go for it. She's probably gonna have to kill the slime then.
Yeah, oh no, the slimes actually came down. Sometimes he does this and it's really annoying, as you can damage boost through him, but he just is the worst. Sometimes he goes down there and then his shot patterns off, you don't know where they're going to hit, and they can easily kill you. but also gets a refill on there, so she'll be very healthy for the Ginso tree.
So that's always nice, being full health in here. It means you can take a spike damage and not immediately die.
Yeah. And we see he did it on the right hand side. We'll see the shot piercing coming into play here. The ideal cycle on without quick flame is 4 cycle. But when you're using shot piercing, it can be a lot more difficult trying to track this monster and kill it as quickly as possible. So you may see a few more cycles come out, but he's making short work of it, and hopefully he doesn't die to it.
He's getting really lucky with where it's being spawning up.
Yeah, it's going to the 3 places that you only want it to show. If it goes to the right hand side, you kind of have to move Ori and can miss a cycle or 2, so that was very nice RNG. Fortunately, it's like the only RNG in this game, so we are very fortunate in speedrunning this game. We don't have a lot of random incidents.
Now, he did it choosing to not make the safety save after the mini-boss, so if perchance he doesn't get this ghost door right, he's gonna have to go back.
And he's got the save down. Everything is good. So he will be picking up Bash as we speak, as Sonic on the left-hand side is just approaching the mini-boss. Could make up a little bit more time here if she gets the shot piercing down correctly, as he did take a little bit more extra cycles, so definitely a chance for Sonic to make up some time right now.
Oh, but already not getting the best RNG with that, considering it spawned all the way on the far right.
Yeah, it's just again, there's a little bit of a one-frame tell here, which is why I could see that it was on the right-hand side, but
Oh, you caught that?
Yeah.
I didn't get to it at all.
I've played this game way too much. It becomes second nature at one point, but it is very hard to tell when you haven't run the game so much. But we are coming to a very interesting section on the right-hand side, if you'd like to talk about that a little bit, Google.
Oh, Kidoop, how I absolutely hate thee.
You mean you don't love it?
Absolutely not. Let's hope it doesn't really hate he did it.
It seems to be treating him very nicely. Ooh, he's got a little bit extra health there, so you want to kill yourself there so you can duplicate the keys. Whereas if you have a little bit more health, it makes it a little bit more tricky. You just take 2 damage, which gives the keys more chance to fail and come out the door.
Which he did it does get that key dupe, and is off to go fight the second mini-boss of Ginso, which is more like a regular enemy, but okay, he looks like he was setting up the hyperspeed. Let's see if he gets it. And he does!
Ooh, nice. Saves a little bit of time, looks awesome. And then we're on to this mini-boss. Having a little bit of trouble getting onto that wall, but just takes the safety bash there, and should have no problems with this. It's kind of more difficult for casual runners, as they don't think you can go onto that wall, so they have to jump across the platforms, but for speedrunners like us...
I mean, it's like Iceless, except it doesn't suck as much.
Iceless sucks more than just a little bit. Fortunately, we don't have to do that. So on the left-hand side, we did see Sonic pick up Bash, and she'll be on her way to try and do her key dupe.
Did that froggy just suddenly respawn out of nowhere?
Very possibly. This game and respawns of monsters are... that sounds about right. We've seen more happen in this game, like where he did it is, this frog that he's going to meet, it can do some crazy stuff. And we actually see him skipping the laser cutscene, so right now you can see a cutscene, but he will be moving whilst that is playing, which is quite dangerous in this area. There's a bunch of spikes. We see him take a little bit of a safety precaution, so he stops where the spikes are going to kill you. So it's a good little safety play by he did it there. Now he just has to do the very difficult early swamp entry. This frog is so hard to set up. I fail it so many times.
Okay, so he did take the shot from the frog and is choosing to bash that down. Oh no!
Yeah, he did an extra bash on the frog, so
I think he ended up bashing the frog into the shot that it just shot.
Oh really?
Yeah, there was a shot that the frog had just started doing, and I think he got hit by it.
I knew the frog was low because he chose to use the shot I thought I saw it be like 1 health away. Ooh, he was very close to doing what you just said again. So.
Yeah, because since he was bashing the shot down from the other platform. Oh, that's... Well, he got through it.
Second try, it's very respectable, it's a very difficult trick. SonikBuster on the left had no problems with the key juke, really does it very well, and is also on the way through the turret boss to make sure work of it, and we're doing her attempt at the swamp entry, which we just saw Hedidiit do.
Now, I would not be surprised if she went for the same movement that Hedidiit did, considering that both of these players are primary controller runners, and the double bash swamp method is a lot more difficult to do on controller. You can do it, but it's a lot more finicky.
Yeah, definitely. We could see her try the double bash method with her being hybrid, but I'm not sure how comfortable the double bashes are, so we'll see. She's also choosing to skip the cutscene. Ooh, the screen is flashing red right now, so that actually means damage is being taken whilst we can't see anything. Oh, a little bit of a death there. If you take a death whilst this cutscene is playing, you can actually soft lock the game. It doesn't do a lot, but it loses a little bit of time. You have to reload the game twice.
Oh, he did it taking a bath.
Oh dear, Muffin will be happy.
Now, considering that it looks clean, it's not clean. Because we don't clean the water, actually, which is why we have to enter swamp this convoluted way. No. And Sonic also being slightly late and then bashing the frog, the shot into the frog.
That's quite amazing that we saw the exact same thing happen on both screens. If you're a little bit late on these bashes, it can just kill this frog, and that's why it is a very hard trick to do.
There's so much that can go wrong with this.
Yeah, frogs are just the worst enemy for doing what you want them to. Let's see.
He did it. I like this move, and he did it. That just makes sure that the frog isn't going to suddenly run away from you and automatically try to run itself into the spikes, because it would rather run itself into spikes than towards the very scary Ori.
Yeah, frogs are the worst. But we do see Sonic get the first entry. Well, not first entry, but early entry. Oh no, he didn't!
Oh no, Sonic! Oh shoot, the safety save. Oh, thank goodness.
Double oh no, oh my god. So we see the Kuro cutscene, which is a very precise skip and very difficult to do. You're going to lose about 17 seconds. You can try to do it on the second go and you'll save a little bit of time, but he did it choosing not to do that. Just takes a 17-second hit, and does he go for this extra health? No, he does not. The madman. So some players do take this optional health, which makes the upcoming sections a little bit more safe, but he did it feeling quite comfortable, not taking that extra health, and he's just going to go on his way to charge flame.
Ooh, getting the stomp, well, choosing not to go for the stomp cancel, just going to stomp and wait and does get that, and those spikes, it doesn't matter how much health you have. If you touch them, you will die.
Yeah, there's a couple things in this game that do that, and those spikes are one of them, unfortunately. Ooh, taking a little bit of damage off that big swarm there, and let's see if he can get the Froggy to jump down with him. Manages that fine, collecting the charge flame ability, and will be making his way onto the second half of the game. Which is a scary half of the game, unfortunately.
It looks like I'm getting word from the truck that Hedidiit is tied with his PB at charge flame.
Oh my god, he's tied!
It's tied!
Sorry, we shouldn't make fun of other runners. Unless it's Tara, and then it's fine. So we see Sonic on the left-hand side.
I didn't realize I was commentating with Gramelios.
Yeah, true. He does get a lot of stick, Tara. I'm sorry, Tara. I love you, really. So Sonic using the frog once again. He does come in helpful, he's just not very useful when he wants to be. And collecting the ability cell, which we'll need later. And we'll see if she can make up the 17 seconds, which were lost by Hedidiit on the Kuro cutscene skip. Setup works a little far.
Oh, she gets it!
Ooh, nice. Nice.
She's gonna make up a bunch of time. Hopefully she puts a save somewhere afterwards.
Yeah, so 17 seconds is nothing to shake your head at. That could be the difference between these winners.
So she is going to make the safety save, so she's not going to have to see that cutscene again. And she's getting that 5th health, so she'll have a little bit of extra safety for the part that he did it is coming up to in a bit, but first he has to get through Fast Stompless.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he goes for it or not, but we will see in just a second. So Fast Stompless requires a lot of perfect movement, a perfect angle clash, but he's taking the safe away, which is very reasonable. He is ahead, he's doing very well at the moment, and yeah, he just doesn't feel comfortable with that trick, so he will just go for the normal stomp. Stomp full, I imagine I would call it.
Sonic, unfortunately, dying a couple times trying to get through those obnoxious spikes.
Yeah, nice to see the save though. So she knows that she had a little bit of trouble with that. Didn't feel very comfortable with it. Makes that save, which is a perfect save to make. You're just going to collect an energy cell, which means you'll get a full replenishment on your energy. So you can save as many times as you want at that point, and you'll just refill everything. So very wise save to do that. And now we are on to the worst part of the game for Hedidiit. He's going to have to attempt the dreaded Sorrow Bash.
I mean, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. Pretty sure it is the hardest trick in the game. Would you not agree?
Actually, no, I would not agree.
Wow, look at you. I know several runners that have spent days and days on this trick and still don't get it every time. Me being one of them.
I'd say it's a tie between... Ooh, he did it, taking the save and the teleporter, at least. But I'd say it's a tie between this and Swamp Entry.
Yeah, Swamp Entry is a
considering that
trick.
Sometimes, like, because some people go for the Double Bash method for both of them, some people go for the 2-bird method for Sorrow Bash.
He did it, taking a little bit of damage on the way up to these birds, so he will be a slightly low through here.
Oh no, he killed bird!
I hope he didn't need that bird.
He looks like he's gonna die.
Yeah, he has to. He charge dashed that second bird, so that means it would be too low for this trick. Let's see how his setup goes for this one. Taking an additional safety save there. Killed himself so the birds reset their energy, and now he goes for the setup for Sorrow Bash. Looks pretty clean at the moment. Can he get this bash? It looks a little low. He's going to kill himself on this bash.
Oh no! He doesn't have 5 health.
Oh no! He might have missed this. That looks a lot better. We got that clean. Ooh, that was so close to the spikes.
Oh, did you see the bird follow him? The bird didn't actually die.
Oh, I hate it when that happens. Sometimes that bird can come up to you, so when you go for the other bird, you actually charge dash into the stationary bird that was at the bottom, and it just totally throws you off. So on the left-hand side, we also see Sonic not taking the risk of Fast Stomper, so no time will be made up here, but it is a lot safer, so she may feel she doesn't want to lose time, and maybe her clean movement will save her in the late game. She's feeling confident with it.
Oh, value safety save for Hedidiit, dying almost immediately, hitting these spikes. Now, because he has 4 HP, literally everything will kill him.
Yeah, this is not a very nice place to be if you are not... Like, I just don't like feathering. Feathering is the worst thing in the game, especially when there's wind everywhere that just throws you off your movement, and one incorrect feather can just totally ruin your day as you eat all of the spikes up. So how would you reckon Sonic's going to handle the dreaded Sorrow Pass, or not so dreaded, as you said?
Considering that she does have the 5 health, she can take a damage boost in the area. So I'm wondering if she's going to actually go for the damage boost method to get through.
Yeah, it is a little bit easier, I would say. It's quite a vanilla strategy, and as on the miscellaneous facts that we missed, unfortunately, it did say that she used to play on the vanilla, so she may be comfortable with that method, and we'll see that soon as she chases the frog off of the platform. Ooh, it's a little bit short on that rocket jump, so unfortunately has to waste an energy, and still not high enough to get to those birds, so just taking her time, going to the right hand side, climbing the mountain, and trying to get the setup for the Sorrow Bash.
Alrighty, she gets up there, gets off the birds. Looks like she is going to take the save. No!
No save for Sonic. May take one just up here at the edge. Yeah, looks like she's trying to set up herself onto that little tiny micro ledge, which is very small, and if you take one step to the right, you just eat spikes and die.
Speaking of eating spikes and dying.
That's exactly what she did. Predictions. Oh no, so many spikes!
She did take the damage from the bird there. I'm wondering if that was intentional.
Probably not. With that 5 health, it doesn't really matter, but it may put... Ooh, yes, that health is coming into play right now. I don't know if she meant to take that extra damage, but she did. Unfortunately, she had enough health to not die.
Now, speaking of evil spikes, our runner's going to take a high five right here. There it is. As Hedidiit has to come back out of here because he took a death on the, as you see on the replay, a death in the bottom of this little spiky corridor. Yeah,
not nice. But that means Hedidiit is in fact in the lead by a whole area, so Sonic is going to have a pretty perfect Sorrow to try and make up this deficit.
Oh, but she's got 1 health, no energy, can't save until after the door, and even that, can't even save the door. And even then, she could get sniped by this frog. This frog is so not nice.
This is a spooky section right now. Fortunately, I think she should be okay. Yep.
Oh, that was close.
Such a close dash. Oh, makes it safely to the tree, so she'll have full health, full energy, and will be making away at Sunstone. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, Hedidiit is just thrashing his way through Misty. This is another incredibly dangerous area. Tons of spikes. Not really... He's got the full health, so he can take 1 hit of damage from these spikes and still live to tell the tale. Making a few safety saves here and there just to make sure that he doesn't lose this lead that he has made. So he's not really giving any way of getting back in this race at the moment.
Well, very good bash. Almost looked like that was going to be a trash bash, but does manage to save it, so the Frankie dies to the spikes and he does not.
Yep, and we see him collect the second last tree of the game, which is Climb. It'll come into play a little bit later in the game. I'm not sure if we're going to see any other crazy grenade jumps, but
that is... I am getting word from the truck again that Hedidiit's almost 2 minutes ahead of his PB at Climb.
Holy hell, that is so good. He has been just so clean through this section. Unfortunately, he loses a little bit of time on that frog there. Usually we'll rocket jump off that frog.
Oh no!
Oh, he's having a nightmare with these walls. So because we're not used to kind of doing the casual things in this, it can throw you off if you make a little bit of mistake that you're not used to. So it takes a minor death there. Still be well on PB pace at the moment. So hopefully we see some more clean movement through Misty, and he gets that rocket jump this time, and will be making his way to the keystone.
Oh no! Or not!
No, maybe just sampling a few more spikes.
By a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, takes the damage again from the slime. Can't take any more damage from these spikes.
Yeah, and this is like Misty is not nice.
Okay.
I like that.
Off the Frankie. I thought that was a trash bash for a second. It might have been, but it looked like it was on purpose. Bashes off the Frankie to set up for C-dashing up and getting into position.
So, meanwhile, Sonic has made it through Sorrow with super speed, pretty much, taking no deaths, really, and made up a lot of time due to these small minor mistakes by Hedidiit. So this race is definitely not over yet. This is still in Misty, still lots of spikes to eat, unfortunately, so if he doesn't have clean movement from now on, it's definitely giving chance to Sonic.
But here's the thing though, Sonic's at 1 energy going into Misty.
Ooh, that is never a good feeling to have.
I'm wondering if she's actually going to go for this rocket jump, and it looks like she's not.
I'd say that's a wise decision. At this point, you kind of want to make up some time, so you can either go for safety and not dying, which is always the best time save, not dying, or you can try and go quickly, but with 1 energy, it's very hard to use that to go fast.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she does have the 5 health, but even 5 health's only a 1 damage boost window of opportunity. So it wouldn't surprise me if she wasn't going to go for this energy. It looks like she is.
Quickly on the right-hand side, we're seeing the mini-boss. There are quick methods where you basically don't see this thing. We see he did take a 2-cycle, which is very good. He actually took a safety save just before it as well, so he is just shutting the door right now. He's making sure he doesn't make any mistakes, placing the saves where he thinks he might. He is just so good right now. He's definitely on his way for a PB. What are you doing? That bash was so dangerous. If you bash close to spikes, it just sucks you straight in and you will definitely take damage. So he's quite lucky to survive that.
And considering he's on controller, I'm just glad that was not a trash back, because that would have thrown him directly into 3 damaging evil spikes.
Yeah, he already took a couple damage off the shot that it spit out, so I think the iframes were in play at that moment, fortunately, but he's finally made it out of the hell that is Misty, and we'll be going through BRB again.
Speaking of Trash Bash!
Oh, goodness. This is the benefit of control. Unfortunately, you do have a dead zone in your controller, so when you bash, it can just flick the opposite way. Unfortunately, we're taking another death here, so looks like both of these runners kinda hating Misty at the moment.
Yeah, the latter half of Misty is super, super not nice.
Yeah, totally. You see he did take a little bit of a death there, but that's actually an intentional death, so we open a door for the way out of here. Hopefully his movement is perfect through here, looks pretty good. Unfortunately misses the Yoka cycle, but that loses very minor time. We'll just have to remember on the way out he can't do some crazy rocket jumps. And hopefully he gets this skip and we won't have to watch a 70-second cutscene.
Looks like he's gonna save. Hopefully he doesn't save late either.
Yeah,
looks like that was okay.
Yeah, again, with the safety strats, he knows that he's in the lead probably. And
well, because with this cutscene, if you save too late, you'll actually get blind movement in the cutscene. So the cutscene will still play, but you can actually move in it and not see a dang thing.
It's not nice when the cutscene's so long as well. But yeah, considering the pace he's on, he must know that he's in the lead right now, because both of these runners are pretty much the same kind of time, and the fact that he is literally like 2 minutes ahead. Oh, just in from the truck, he's 1 minute 26 ahead of his PB. He must be feeling very comfortable with this race, and kind of have an inkling that he will be in front.
Now, considering that these were both pre-recorded one-off runs, I would think that he, in this mindset currently, would think he's maybe not perchance would be in the lead, but that he's definitely on super nice pace.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what the runners are thinking, but he's just wanting to keep this pace and taking the safety sense where he needs it. You see Sonic on the left just taking a couple attempts at this mini-boss. Can be very tricky. Manages to kill it and will be on the way to the BRB visit to get the final skill.
He did it now, heading his way to Mount Horu.
Ooh, I thought he was gonna go through the lower half there. Because he missed the Kuro cutscene, you can actually have a choice of going up or down there. I'm not sure which one is technically faster, but I think he would have actually set it off if he hadn't have got the Kuro cutscene. Interesting. So we are going to come up to the first necessary one-frame trick of the game, which is door warp, and it allows us to skip the entirety of the last dungeon, Mount Horu, and it can be pretty annoying. If you don't get it the first couple times, you kind of get in the mindset of it's impossible.
Yeah, getting infinitied by door warp is kinda awful. Now let's see if he did it, can do it, and get it on the first try. Nope. Not second try either. Come on, he did it. Take my energy. And he is through. Meanwhile, Sonic's also skipping the cutscene. And she is at Grenade Tree. As he did it, is getting through escape. Just gonna start this off now because he is going through escape with 6 HP. He did not clean the water, which is why normally 5 is the absolute minimum you can do for that unless you go through Ginso escape. He did it having 6 means he's gonna have a little bit of extra safety going through the water. Instead of doing fish strats, he's gonna have to bash off the fish effectively in order to not die to poison water that ticks every second. He is through the elemental shooter. Oh no! And he takes damage to the fire, which means he has to go back all the way. If he takes any single damage in this escape, he has to do it all over again. Let's see how he can do it this time. Alright. He did it, is gonna get past that elemental as Sonic is on her way to Mount Horror herself. Let's see if he did it, can get past the fire. He's past the fire that killed him the previous time, and he's into the water. Bashes off the first fish, bashes off the second fish, and oh! And he's through despite the trash bash. Nice job. Alright, now he's gonna get set up for... And he's not even going to go through the grenade jump. He is through and done. All he has to do is just hold right through a cutscene. He did it. Is going to have to watch the cutscene that the grenade jump will skip, but he is through and past all of the scary stuff. Meanwhile, as SonikBuster is having a little trouble with this elemental, but she is past that and heading into Mount Horror herself. Alright, now, as you see, the stat pops up. Sonic has a 100% door warp success, which is very impressive considering how really awful this trick is. See, I think she's gonna get it first try as well. Does have the UI up, so it does get a little bit of a cutscene text box, and oh, does not get it first try. Oh. Now, he did it. All this has to do is hold right, and he did it. He did it is done. As Sonic gets through the door on the 4th try to start her own escape, and I am being told by the truck that he did it, just got a 21-second PB with the final time of 44:28. That is fantastic for him. Good job. Now, Sonic is going to go through her final escape, and she gets the energy refill and the health refill from the escape starting. Has to bash and dash and stomp her way through this last fiery portion of Mount Horu, which is even more on fire for being a volcano on the verge of exploding. And to charge flame her way through. Alright, now, is she gonna get hit by the fire that killed... She did it the first time? No, she does not. Down into the water, bashes off the first fish, bashes off the second fish again, and she is also through. Does not spawn Kuro, and let's see if she goes for the grenade jump as well, or if she just finishes out. And she is going to go for the grenade jump. Let's see. She gets it. Does not get it first try. Alright. Angle looks good. Shot didn't come out either. It looks like a good angle and placement on the wall. She is going to keep going for it. Now, remember, Sonic doesn't know whether or not he did it would have been finished. Oh no! And Sonic gets the soft lock! Oh no, so What the soft lock means is that you have to start escape entirely over again. Oh no. Alright, so what ends up happening with the soft lock is that if you end up veering towards the left-hand side instead of going all the way out from the right from that position, you can't finish. You have to go back to your previous save, which is at the start of escape, and have to do everything over again. So she has to go back through the escape. Oh, almost getting hit by the fire pillar. Does manage to jump out of the way in time. Alright, Sonic, I believe you can do this. Gets through the elemental. And is now back into the fish. Gets the first fish again, gets the second fish again, and is through the water. Alright, let's see if he goes for the grenade jump this time. He's gonna go for the grenade jump again. Lines it up. It's a little high, but looks like it could be good. Is gonna keep going for it. Oh, he's having a little bit of trouble. Come on. Lines that up, taking good care to make sure that she doesn't end up soft locking this time again. Oh, almost there. She is gonna go for it. I admire this tenacity a lot. At this point, she could have just gone to just walk out and finish that way, but she is determined to get this grenade jump. Is gonna keep trying for it. And at this point, is just choosing to close the match out as such. All right. Now, Sonic is gonna finish up and has to hold right and watch the cutscene as Hedidiit also did. So, with that, looks like Sonic's gonna get a time of around roughly 50 minutes, perhaps. But as such, will be eliminated from the tournament as Hedidiit is gonna take this win. Now, with that, Sonic is just gonna hold right through this and then hold right with the Naru. Maybe we'll see a couple of Naru hops. One can always hope for the Naru hops. Alrighty. Scrap of the bird. And with this, Hedidiit is going to go on to the next part of the lower bracket as Sonic has been knocked out. As Sonic is going to hold right and end up with a final time of 49:50. Unfortunately, as I said, that does mean that Sonic is going to be knocked out from the tournament, but GG to both of our runners. Now, as these were pre-recorded races, we do not have either of them here for an interview with us, but good job to both of them. Hedidiit is going to move on to the next round of the lower bracket to go off and face Griffs as Sonic is knocked out. Now, Griffs and Hedidiit are going to have their race at some points in the Ream division, and because neither runner is here to conduct an interview, we're going to wrap this up super quickly as we have another race immediately after this at 8 p.m. with Cleanfell versus Sarah Baron. Now, that's going to be a fantastic match. We're going to wrap this up and get that set up for you right now. I have been Poogle. I was joined by Illogimini, who for the past few minutes had internet troubles, so as such, he is not here to close this out. But Illogimini, thank you so much for commentating with me. Thank you to our truck, and we're going to be back in a couple minutes for the next race. Everybody stay tuned!